With everyone back in service again after the strike and the river going into New Windsor being unblocked, everything was back to normal on the LaGrange and Whittier. Kiwi was still managing the freight work just fine, but when he wasn't available, we would often have to double or even triple ahead. Mr. Mark was still trying to find a full-time engine to come work here. Fortunately, this search wouldn't be for much longer, as once a year, some representatives from the New York Central would come down to the L&W for an inspection. Same for the Southerners, but by their representatives. Each manager had to make sure that their division was in near perfect condition, or they would run the risk of losing their job. This story begins at the start of one of these routine inspections. Mr. Mark and a few New York Central executives were at the platform one day, waiting for the express to depart.
This is a very good operation you have going so far, Mr. Mark.
Thank you, but you're yet to see the best of it.
How so?
Well, this service we're waiting for is our regularly scheduled express hauled by my J3A Hudson. It runs between here and Bakersfield. You'll get a good look at the whole railroad.
Very interesting. What's it called?
It's called the Nor'easter. Anyway, we should get on. It'll be leaving soon. Over there is Carlton and its neighboring industries. We have quite a few clients from this area alone.
Over there looks interesting. We'll make sure to look over there later.
Here's Flintwich. This is also where the start of our branch line is.
Over there looks interesting. We'll make sure to look over there later.
Should we take a train down there later?
We kinda have to, so yeah.
And here is the Vincent Gradient, a tricky stretch but not too bad. After reaching the top, we glide down into Auburn. And right here is Whittier. It's the headquarters for the Southern Railway's operations. The station's nice though.
I do like the architecture.
It was a collaboration between us and the Southern. The only time we got along, to be honest.
Well, listen everybody, let me tell you about the rock and roll. Oh, feel that rhythm and it's really gonna thrill your soul. Come along with me to a land of make-believe. She said, whamma, rock and roll.
And at last, we're at Bakersfield. You can stay on the return trip, if you like.
No, we'll get off. I must say, Mr. Mark, this is a great managing style you have.
Tell us about the engines that you have.
Well, most of them are either from the PRR or the Central, but I got one from the Union Pacific and one from the Southern Pacific and one from the B&O. They're all amazing workhorses, but I've noticed they've been struggling lately.
How so?
Well, a few months ago, the Southern invested in one of their former decapods to bolster their freight operations. My main freight engine, USRA Mikado No. 40, couldn't keep up, so I got one of Union Pacific's C-57s on. Mr. Mark continued telling the representatives about our current situation for about 5 minutes before finishing. Once done, both representatives were left perplexed.
Well, that's very compelling of you, Mr. Mark. A bit unfortunate, too.
It is. My engines are good locos, but they haven't been able to cope as well as I expected. You think you two can do anything for me in that regard?
That's debatable. We can't relocate any of our engines at the moment. How urgently do you need an engine?
As soon as possible.
Well, we do have good business relations with a few of our neighboring railroads, including the B&O, Central New Jersey, and C&O. But I don't think they would be willing to give up any of their locomotives to help us. We'll see what I can do, though.
That's good to hear. Anyways, I have to get back to LaGrange. Have fun inspecting, gentlemen.
Well, it's hardly ever fun, but it's our job. We'll reach out to you if we have to.
The man from the New York Central stayed on the line for the next few days, closely assessing things like scheduling track maintenance, infrastructure, and more. This was a tense time for us since the slightest screw-up could result in us losing points. We didn't fold, however, and we were allowed to keep running. They wrapped up their inspection early next week and left the railroad soon after. Then, one morning, about 3 days after they left, Mr. Mark arrived at the roundhouse with a very important announcement. Good morning, everyone. What? Oh, I'm sorry. Good morning, everyone! Ah!
What the?
Glad to see I got y'all's attention. Now, your crews will be coming to fire you up in a bit, and you'll be off doing your jobs for the day. But before any of that happens, I have an announcement that I'm pretty sure you'll all be ecstatic to hear.
Am I going back home?
Not quite yet.
Ah.
Don't worry, hit an online search. at full speed and get fatally injured?
What? No!
Then, what was it?
After I told those inspectors from upper management about our predicament, they bargained a little and got an engine of the C&O of all things. That's wonderful, but it doesn't make sense. How do we get an engine from the Chesapeake in Ohio? Simple. We have good business relations with them right now. I wasn't given an exact date of when he's arriving, but it has to be between now and the end of this month. So make sure to look out for an engine with its air compressors mounted at the front. It has the wheel configuration of 282. Okay, sir, we'll make sure to keep our heads up. This newcomer turned out to arrive earlier than we had all expected and pulled into LaGrange on the 26th of September. He simmered in the yard as he waited for further instructions from Mr. Mark. However, he wouldn't be the first one that would meet our new addition.
Okay, so if my fire is dropped for now, then that'll mean I'll get an hour's sleep before my next train is due.
Hello,
Hello too. Wait a minute. Who the f*** are you?
I'm your new addition. The name's Ernest, your resident K2.
Wait, you're already here? That's great.
Say, I never expected to see a Southern Pacific P10 in these parts.
I'm Brando. We kind of have a lot of engines that have no business being here, but there still are.
Oh great, you're already here. Hello, I'm Mr. Mark, your new manager, and welcome to the LaGrange and Whittier Joint Railroad.
Already off to a great start, I see.
Today you'll be paired with Randall, the engine right next to you, on a fast freight to the other end of the line in Bakersfield to give you a good look around.
That's good to know. When do we start?
In about an hour. Have fun!
Huh, so that's y'all's.
Yes, indeed. He's a strict, but he's a fair man. He does whatever is necessary to make sure that we're all taken care of.
This looks like a good place to work.
It is. Okay, Ernest, off we go. So, the first soul miners out of LaGrange are kind of boring, so I won't say anything about this area. Tell me, Ernest, what was life like before you came here today?
Wait, you're actually interested?
Of course! This is the first step of friendship, after all. Getting to know the other person. Or, in this case, getting to know the other engine.
Okay then. My earliest memory is living out coast and then in alley shops in 1924. I always pulled freight, so obviously I specialized in it. I worked around Chesapeake in Maryland until World War II, when demand became high. Me and my siblings were working all across the C&O system delivering supplies to help with the Allies. Last year I had an accident, however, and I was set aside. But then your manager stepped in to purchase me and I was fixed within 4 days.
That's very interesting. It was around 1942. I got stranded on
Who was that?
Oh, that was Richie. He was to the Southern Railway. I recommend avoiding that bunch of mongrels and scoundrels.
Why so? Did they do something bad? What did they do?
Ugh, you don't even want to know. Somewhere between embarrassing one of our new recruits and stealing one of our deliveries is where I draw the line. Okay, so from what I heard from one of our other residents, the Southern took control of this area.
Randall continued to tell Ernest all about the Southern rivalry. That was until they reached the start of the hill, where they encountered a problem.
You've got to be kidding me. Broken down? Already?
Afraid so. We don't know exactly what happened, but I know we're not getting any further today.
Oh, damn it. What are we going to do now?
Don't worry, I got this. Get on board, I'll see what I can do.
Ernest, what are you doing? There's no way you can move me in this entire terrain all by yourself.
I'll at least try though.
Ernest, how did you manage to do that?
I thought I might as well prove myself if I'm not leaving this place anytime soon.
What a great job at that. managed to get us over the hill and to our destination on time. Is that correct though, driver?
Yep, it's 11:45.
That's nice.
Seems as though you're on the right track for making a name for yourself.
But where are the repair shops around here? You're still broken.
Oh, it's at the other end of the yard. Just drop me off there.
When they both returned to LaGrange that evening, Randall told us all about how Ernest came in clutch. We were all very impressed with his strength, especially considering that he wasn't much bigger than Lonnie or Leviathan. It was even better when Mr. Mark discovered that Ernest was light enough to go on the Quinburg branch line. Now orders from the gravel mine up in the hills could be delivered more efficiently. However, despite all the good, Ernest was rather forgetful. He would sometimes take trains that weren't his on accident or miss a red signal every now and again. So for now, Mr. Mark kept him on the heavy freight duties.
Hello, Mark.
Greetings, Wood. I have a rather important task for you today.
What is it, sir?
Well, the coaches that we use on the Nor'easter service are all nearing 20 years old.
That's the train that Bernie pulls every day, right?
Correct. I replaced all the old coaches and placed an order for new ones that arrived today. I need you to switch them out. From there, another engine is going to take them for a bit of a test drive. Who, though, I haven't decided yet.
Why not Bernie?
He's doing something else right now. The coaches are at LaGrange, so it's only about a 9-mile journey.
I'll get to it as soon as my pressure is fully raised.
Good to know. I didn't know we were getting new coaching stock.
According to Mr. Mark, they just arrived this morning. I've been switching them for about an hour, and let me tell you, they handle pretty nicely.
That's good to hear. I must imagine Bernie's a bit put out about all the old coaches being scrapped.
It doesn't really matter. Anyways, I'm all done. I'm getting some rest.
Hello, guys. I'm glad to see you have the coaches ready for me already.
Mr. Mark, choose you to pull these coaches for a test run?
Yup. He said I was the only engine available to take them for a spin. It's a quick trip down to Whittier and back.
Okay then, be careful with them.
And good luck!
Thank you.
Make sure to keep the pressure steady.
Hey, why are we being flagged down?
Those coaches are empty, correct? Yes, why do you need to know? A blockage as a kid, up the line a few miles from here. I need you to leave those coaches in the nearest sliding available and go assist.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Are you at least going to give us some more details first?
There's no time. If you all don't get up this soon, the timetables will be in tatters. Ernest quickly obliged and parked the coaches on the first siding to the right. What he had not realized, however, is that he set the coaches back a bit too far, and the front bogie of the last coach was directly on the main line. This would prove to be a consequential mistake.
Holy hell, what happened here? Why do y'all have so many cars?
Come along quick, I'm losing my grip.
Okay, are you the only one here? Okay, do I just start pushing?
Yes, to answer your stupid question, a few weeks before you arrived there was a blockage up the river in New Windsor. This meant nothing could get in or out. When it was finally fixed, a massive backlog of goods. What we're trying to do now is to move all this freight into one group. Looks like we pulled a little bit more than we can chew.
Are you the only one here?
Certainly not. Eddie and Bernie are already at the front. Oh, I can't believe this. Stalled up on the hill again? We already went back down and tried again. We did this twice already.
Bernie, we have all been stuck here for like 23 minutes. You're not making it any better.
Okay, on my mark, start pushing. On 3, 2, 1.
Oh, we have liftoff.
Wait a minute. Little Ty can't be doing all of this.
Well, if he is, we better start pulling too. Now come on. Easy on that throttle.
Whew, I'm slipping a bit.
Everyone, use your centers and we should be good. Thank you, Ernest. Your strength really came in handy today.
You're welcome. I have to get back to my coaches now.
Wait, you had passengers waiting this whole time?
Not at all. It was a test run for the new express coaches.
Okay then. Have fun then.
What the fuck? Oh shit, there's no time! Ouch!
What happened here?
The rear bogie of the last coach was on my track, so I crashed into it. I hardly had enough time to brake. Who could be so naive to leave the coaches on the main line like that? Todd remembered what Ernest said earlier and started connecting the dots.
It was Ernest, wasn't it?
Wait, what?
It was Ernest. Who left here? He must have pushed the coaches back too far.
He could have seriously damaged me. He really needs to pay more attention.
This is really upset arrangements. Now, come on, Leviathan, let's get you back on the rails so you could stop whining already. For God's sake, man.
Earlier today, Leviathan had a derailment at Flint Ridge. Because of this, he will have to go to the shops at Whittier for repairs, as well as one of the newer express coaches. It was revealed that the cause of the incident was ignorance from Ernest and his crew. Now, Ernest, how could you make something like this happen?
I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't mean for the coaches to move that far.
I don't want to hear it. I could have gotten by you missing red signals or picking up trains that aren't yours, but this crosses the damn line.
See, it was because
As punishment, I'll be cutting your crew's pay in half for the next 2 months to pay for the damages, and you'll be doing all of Leviathan's jobs for him.
But, sir...
Goodbye, Ernest! The atmosphere in the roundhouse after that was tense. Ernest slunk into the back of the sheds, marinating in his own guilt. Until Levi was repaired, Ernest was placed on indefinite helper service and maintenance away duties. This was a low point for him, as during this period, Mr. Mark monitored it closely, as there ain't a doubt in my mind that he would have sent Ernest away at even the slightest mistake made. As for the rivalry, the playing field was now leveled for both Northsiders and Southerners, now that we had extra help. But the rivalry still persisted. This story does have a happy ending though, as Leviathan at least forgave Ernest over the accident. Slowly, Ernest was able to pull back scraps of his reputation. But that's another story for another day. I'm tired. Good night.